Reliable Review Lab, Samsung Galaxy A56 5G Long-Term Review Script. There is a $300 phone sitting on my desk right now that is making my $1,300 flagship look kind of embarrassing. No, I'm not exaggerating, and by the end of this video you're going to understand exactly why I said that, especially when we get to the camera test, because that part genuinely shocked me. Stick around, because this one changed how I think about budget phones for good. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Reliable Review Lab. A few months ago I picked up the Samsung Galaxy A56 5G with one simple plan: shoot a couple of quick review clips, then flip it. That was the plan. It did not go according to plan. Instead, this thing quietly became one of the phones I reach for the most, and today I want to walk you through exactly why, after living with it day to day, it's earned a permanent spot in my rotation. Let's start with how this thing is actually built, because at this price point, I went in with pretty low expectations. That was a mistake. The frame is metal, the fit and finish feels tight, and there's nothing about picking this phone up that screams budget. One thing I actually appreciate is that Samsung skipped the glass back here. That might sound like a downgrade on paper, but in real life it means less anxiety about shattering it on the first drop, and the matte finish they used has shrugged off scratches completely over the months I've been carrying it around. Here's the part that might surprise you: when I compare it side by side with my Galaxy S25, I actually prefer how the A56 looks and feels. A phone that costs less than half as much somehow edges out the flagship in hand feel. Sure, the S25 has that glass back, but once you're actually holding both of these day to day, the A56 build comes across as the more premium of the two, which still doesn't quite make sense to me. Thickness-wise they're nearly identical. The S25 is a touch slimmer on paper, but you'd never notice in daily use. And if you've ever handled a phone with a camera bump that catches on everything, you'll appreciate how flat and comfortable this one sits in your hand by comparison. Now let's talk screen, because this might be the biggest surprise of the whole video. I put this display up against my Pixel 9 Pro, a phone that costs roughly 3 times as much, and honestly, I like the A56 panel better. The colors pop, contrast is excellent, and next to the S25 the two are close enough that you'd struggle to tell them apart in a blind test. Yes, the bezels are a little thicker here, that's the one giveaway this isn't a flagship. But for everyday viewing, scrolling, and content creation, this display is punching way above its price tag. On paper, the chipset in the A56 doesn't come close to what's inside the S25. But here's the thing nobody tells you: in day-to-day use, that gap basically disappears. Opening apps, browsing, editing on the go, it all feels smooth and responsive. Where you will notice a difference is cold app launches, which take an extra second or two, and if you're trying to run the heaviest mobile games at max settings. Outside of that, this phone genuinely feels like it's punching in flagship territory. Don't let the benchmark charts scare you off, they tell a very different story than actually using this thing. Okay, this is the section you've been waiting for, and it's honestly the reason I never sold this phone. Going in, I assumed the S25 would dominate here. It's the flagship, it costs double. That assumption did not survive contact with reality. Put these two side by side, especially for video, and the A56 genuinely outperforms the S25 in several situations. That's not a typo. Samsung's flagship camera tuning has been a letdown lately. Bright scenes get blown out, highlights clip hard, and honestly it's been one of the weaker camera experiences among current flagships. Meanwhile, the A56 holds its own against phones 2 and 3 times its price. I'd put its video output right up there with my Pixel, sometimes matching it, occasionally even edging ahead. Against something like the Vivo X200 Pro, the A56 main sensor output is, frankly, not close. The A56 wins. And compared to last year's A55, which uses a nearly identical sensor, the difference in real-world results is night and day. Same hardware, dramatically better output. That tells you Samsung's processing team did something right this generation. The camera app itself deserves a mention too. Pro Video Mode gives you full manual control, external mic support just works without any fuss, and the overall workflow beats what you get out of a Pixel or an iPhone. I run 4 different channels off this workflow at this point, shooting straight from the phone because it's simply faster than pulling out a dedicated camera. Selfie and ultra-wide performance take a small step back compared to true flagships, but for the vast majority of people, you won't find much to complain about there either. Battery is another category where the A56 quietly wins. You're getting a 5000 mAh cell paired with 45-watt charging, which actually outpaces the S25's 25-watt charging by a wide margin. Real-world battery life leans in the A56's favor too, and thermals are noticeably better under load. Gaming or filming on the S25 gets warm fast, while the A56 stays cool and stable. Less powerful silicon running more efficiently seems to be the trade-off, and for daily use, that trade-off pays off. Only the Vivo X200 Pro beats it on pure battery life among phones I've tested recently, and that phone costs twice as much with a noticeably bigger cell to match. So, should you actually buy this phone? At around $300, I genuinely can't point you to anything else in this range that competes. Some of the Xiaomi and Poco competitors look better on a spec sheet, but the moment you use them side by side with the A56, the gap closes fast or disappears entirely. Software feels fast and polished, the cameras are the best you'll find anywhere near this price, and the display rivals phones costing multiple times as much. For the vast majority of people watching this, I don't think spending more actually gets you a meaningfully better everyday experience. This is one of those rare budget phones that doesn't feel like a compromise, it just feels like a great phone that happens to be cheap. That's my honest, long-term take on the Samsung Galaxy A56 5G after using it as a daily driver for months, not just a weekend. If this saved you from overspending on your next phone, do me a favor and smash that like button, and if you're not subscribed yet, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next long-term review. I've got a few more surprising ones coming. Drop a comment and let me know which phone you want me to put through this same test next. Thanks for watching, this has been Reliable Review Lab, and I'll see you in the next one.